Okay, woodworkers, welcome back. So you'll notice here I've got some marks on what will be the bottom of my drawers. So I just talked about using a slot cutter for doing the groove inside the curved face. These ones I can definitely use this same cutter to create that groove with. Because, as I said, it's thinner and it's straight. I really can't do this freehand. That is just unsafe. So I'm going to get rid of this starting pin, and then I can use a fence. This fence has a nice feature that I can pull these two faces apart, and then I can lock this in wherever it is I want or need it to happen. So in essence, just driving this all the way through, and that's great. I don't need to engage in this bearing. That could be too deep of a cut to plunge for this thickness, although it was totally appropriate for the curved face. So for this, I've got the option of doing the slot cutter, and as I said, with the fence, totally fine. I can do this. I might do this, I think, for the sake of not wanting to reset the height on this. I will, I'm not sure. I could easily do it this way, there's nothing wrong with it. Another option, and possibly a better one, if I were to get rid of this cutter and put in a 1/4 inch straight cutting bit, or 1/4 inch that has these spiral flutes. This one tends to create a more accurate cut, a cleaner cut, because you get more of a shearing effect because of the orientation of these cutters. They're really quite fantastic for what it is you're doing. I'm not sure if you can see it, but yeah, anyway, this is always my preference if I can. If it's going to be something that's exposed, and I'm worried about tear out, I'm going to go with the spiral cutter, opposed to the straight knives of something like this. So I could set this into the router regardless of whatever bit I'm using. Then with the fence, I can close off these faces, lock this thing back down, because with this into play, or pardon me, into place, there you are. So this is where my cut will be. I'll set the bit into the router table here, the fence will pull over, and then I can just run this through. And that's okay. Given all the conversation about methods for doing these are totally fine, these are doable, these are safe, they're effective. Given the speed that it would probably take me to swap out one of these bits for doing a single pass here onto this machine, I also have another option, which is probably what I'll end up doing, and that is just taking both of these boards to the table saw, making sure that the height of the blade is set correctly, and then the position of the fence is set so that the inside of the blade cuts there, outside will cut there. Anyway, so laying this thing down, one pass, sending this one down, second pass, and then I'm done. So I think that's the big benefit of going over the table saw for this application. This way, for sure, has benefits, and if you don't have a table saw, then this kind of solves that problem. But I think just for speed and repetition of being able to do these ones exactly the same and a faster cut, table saw is where it's at. So I'm going to take this over to table saw, I'll cut these grooves, and that's that. Then I'm going to clean this up for another operation. Alright, thanks.